Okay, life is good. We are recording and we're all ready to go. Awesome. So I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. We know that there are any number of things that you can be doing on this Wednesday evening, and we thank you for your time. For those of you guys that are guests this evening, we want to say thank you for joining us. And we know that the person that invited you to come this evening and hear this information, you're definitely going to want to go back and thank them for thinking about you, because the information you're going to hear this evening is truly, truly a gift. And whatever you choose to do with that information. So I'm Brenda Geary, and I'm here with my co-host Pam, and we're super excited to share with you about an incredible, what has been for many of us, life-changing product and business opportunity. And so what we're going to do first is, well, how did I come to be here? I'll just do a quick introduction of myself really quick, and then I'll turn it over to Dr. Pam so that she can share. But my husband and I, we were introduced to this company back in August of 2011. At the time, I was suffering from a number of really, really debilitating health issues. I got to the point where I was so sick that I was in bed 20 hours a day. I was on 24 prescription medications, and I wasn't living. I was just existing. It didn't feel good to be in my body at all. And I was praying for a solution, and that solution came to us when we were introduced to LifeVantage and our flagship product in August of 2011. And I'll just simply say, without making any claims, that it absolutely changed my life changing from a quality of life perspective. And then I was unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer shortly thereafter. But here I sit in front of you 9 years later with better health, better quality of life, and vibrancy than I had prior to even 2004. So I'm super, super grateful for what we have our hands on. My background was corporate America. I was a VP of Human Resources for almost 20 years, and I absolutely loved what I did. But I will share with you guys that I absolutely love what we're doing now even more. So tonight we're going to hear about an opportunity. And at the end of the evening, you're going to decide, our job is to share, and it's your job to choose. So at the end of the evening, you're going to decide what you're going to do with this information. First, we're going to start off with Dr. Pam. She's going to talk about the products. And I want you to hear, I'm going to read Dr. Pam's bio so that you can hear and understand the caliber of this amazing medical professional that we have on with us this evening. Got to put my glasses on here. So Dr. Pam was trained in Western cardiovascular medicine and is also an acupuncturist with extensive training in all aspects of traditional Chinese medicine. She holds a master's in traditional Chinese medicine with an emphasis on nutrition and preventative medicine. Dr. Pam, is also board certified and licensed to practice acupuncture by the Arizona Board of Acupuncture. Previously, she also had been licensed to practice in both Florida and Alaska. She is the founder of Longevity Wellness Clinics in Florida and the Arizona location, where she currently serves as the clinic director. And Dr. Pam is currently a Pro 5 with LifeVantage. So Dr. Pam, I'm gonna, if you'll go ahead and unmute, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. Usually it took me a long time, and I'm still getting used to when people start talking about my credentials. For those that do not know me, I'm generally an introvert and really kind of shy. So I don't like to kind of stand in the spotlight, but I am very grateful to be here tonight for so many different reasons. It behooves me to kind of share with you what I know about these life-changing activators, as we call them. So let's begin. And thank you, Brenda, and thank you for everyone for being here. So let's begin. Let me see if I could. There we go. So these are some of the, making sure that we have these disclosures right here. Take just a few seconds to read through them. Okay. And we are all ready to flip that switch. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about flipping switches. And as we go on, you may hear words that you have not heard before. So we'll talk about, we are all being hijacked on a daily basis. So we don't usually think about hearing that word hijacked with our medical health. So let me kind of share with you what does it mean and help you to understand a little better. We have our health have been hijacked on a daily basis through so many different ways, right? Through food and water. We're talking about heavy metals, minerals, pesticides, poor diet, environment, the pollution, the sun damage. So those that are suffering from melanoma would know exactly what I'm talking about. The various household cleaners, we don't think about those. The beauty products that we put on our face, the molds that are around. And one of the few things we really don't think about is a lot of personal relationships, the stress that we put on our lives, right? The poor sleep, the inactivity, especially now with COVID, we all stay indoors a lot. We actually get a lot more of a joint issues by doing a lot of pressing on the fingers and on the phones, So a lot of inactivity, alcohol, smoking, technology, and these are huge culprits. Okay, so I want to hold up my phone. Huge culprits. We spent so much time on them. As a matter of fact, a friend and I were having this conversation. Do not know what's going to happen if we ever lose our phone. We have so much information in them. And so slowly but surely, these things creep into our lives and become so part of us that we don't even think about and how it is robbing us of our health and robbing our body's ability to protect ourselves better. Okay, so some of the things that, as a fact that we wanted to share with you, there are more than 85,000 chemicals that have been introduced since the Industrial Revolution. So I want us to really kind of think about it. What does it actually is doing to our health? How all the various different sites of invasion into our body. So if we can do our best to eliminate the most of these, and it is very hard. We do live in the 21st century. How many of us now actually go around without a cell phone? Very few, very few, right? And what does all this mean? If our body are lit up and lighted in the way and the path that we go, all these are hijacking our system and it's dimming the lights, dimming the life out of us. So what can we do? What does it really feel like when that happens? So these are some of the things that some of us probably would have experienced. There will be a decrease in immune system. A lot of talk about it right now. So it's really so prevalent in the conversations that we have right now with the pandemic going on, right? How our body is being so attacked by so many different things. Some of us experience brain fog, inability to focus, sluggishness, how it affects our moods when we're not well. Trust me, when I'm not well, I get really quiet, and my husband is very aware. So when we're not well, we really do not put us in a good mood, and definitely an increase in stress with things that are going around. And when we're stressful, we don't sleep well. When we don't sleep well, we get tired during the day. And then when it comes to the day, we work some more, we stress some more, and then the vicious cycle. Okay, and so let's keep all those in mind as we continue this conversation. So what is really happening when that light starts dimming? Okay, we're going to talk a little bit more about what oxidative stress is, what mitochondrial decline is, and what's a decline in sirtuin activity. And as we go on, I'd like to share with you some of my thoughts and some of the things that actually it's wowing my left brain, as I like to say, every so often when I learn about these things. So let's talk a little bit about oxidative stress. Well, before we talk about those, we also wanted to kind of share with you, right, how science has already discovered how our genes contain incredible abilities to keep our bodies healthy. Now, some of you that I have a privilege to be part of your healthcare team, you may have heard this from me in terms of how our genes, our genetic makeup, more than 85% of it is programmable. Means that we have the choice to change the direction that for which it goes. In the world of science, they call that epigenetics, right? How the study of epigenetics and how nutrition actually can help, and hence that word nutrigenomics, and how our choices that we make can actually affect our bodies in so many different ways. Okay, so we want to share a little clip with you. Picture shows 1,000 words, and so let's see.
It may not look like a fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease.
Yes,
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
So it's actually kind of incredible that that particular clip actually was done approximately more than 15 years ago. So for those of you, you may recognize that was John Quinones. Okay, he is an award-winning journalist, investigative journalist, and when he did this, it was absolutely incredible. Blew a lot of minds, a lot of people, including the scientific world. So that was on major ABC primetime, and everybody saw it, and everybody went wild, particularly, like I said, in the medical world. So if you have the ability to flip those genes, flip that switch, what would you do? If you have the choice, and if you have the ability to be able to change what is in your body, what would you do? what would you do? I'm not holding the clicker. This is wonderful. So let's talk a little bit about oxidative stress. Okay, we keep talking about that. Why is it so important? So this is how I would share with my patients when I do presentations. Okay, think about the various diseases. Think about 3 top diseases that you have at the top of your head: heart diseases, high blood pressure, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, anything that comes to your mind. The common denominator of more than 200 various diseases is high oxidative stress. And that is really, really key to what we want to talk about pertaining to oxidative stress. It's kind of interesting. I was sharing this with Brenda several days ago. I had to do recertification board. So I was taking a course up on cognitive decline, and it was incredible. So when we talk about cognitive decline, we're talking about things like Alzheimer's, right? We're talking about so many different levels: Parkinson's, neurodegenerative diseases. And it is interesting for me. Now, this is what we're talking about. I'm a little geeky, okay? So my left brain was dancing out of the water because everything the presenter was talking about, high oxidative stress. We're talking about inflammatory cytokines, okay, and all the danger signaling. Everything that we have here, and in a natural form. So let me continue this conversation. Okay, the body's natural defense is to, how do we combat this high oxidative stress? Is to produce antioxidants. I always talk about that factory in our body that churns up the antioxidants. We all have that little factory in our body. But unfortunately, that particular factory starts slowing down its pistons on those big machinery as we get older over time. But then as time went on, scientists also discovered there is a very interesting pathway that is in the biochemical cycle of our body. And that pathway is called the Nrf2 pathway. And LifeVantage has put together, has come and able to put 5 incredible ingredients, okay, that actually can activate this pathway. So this is another part where my brain was dancing across that icy water when I was listening to that, when I was sitting for that recertification, because the speaker was spewing things like, green tea, ashwagandha, turmeric, and all these things can help activate your Nrf2. I'm like, voila, we have it right here. Okay, we have 5 great ingredients that we put into this Pretendum Nrf2. And what is so wonderful about that is that this particular combination, the synergistic effect of this particular combination, can actually decrease oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And a continual use, we can actually decrease it by 70%. That is a wow. That is a huge wow. It also means that if you cut the apple and the apple starts rusting off, we found something natural that can actually reverse that. Oh, I love that slide. Can actually reverse that. Okay, it's amazing. So do you remember I talked a little bit about when that investigative report came out? A lot of these research universities, everybody saw that. And one of those that came out and they go, whoop, after a bunch of studies, independent peer review studies, and this is what they came up with. Nrf2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future, meaning present and on and on and on, okay? Nrf2 may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. That is amazing. That is incredibly amazing. We found something natural that can help us to increase and strengthen our body's defense mechanism to fight all those diseases that you can think of. That's amazing. So what is LifeVantage's approach? Okay. Do we want to add some more antioxidants in our body? Or do we want to kickstart our body's ability to Remember that factory? Kickstart that factory's ability to produce antioxidants. So let me kind of share with you why as we go down. What is the difference? Okay, back in, I would think in the 80s, free radical was a big buzzword, a buzz phrase, lots of free radicals, really bad, need to increase antioxidants, eat more your grapes, your blueberries, and all those wonderful things. Now, don't get me wrong, they are really good for you, okay? But it's a 1-to-1 ratio. We call it, Dr. Rodati loves to use the term one and done, okay? 1 blueberry to 1 free radical, done. Do you think that we have that few free radicals with every breath we take and every phone call we make? No, okay? With kicking start that factory in our body to produce its own, we're talking about 1,000,000 to 1 ratio. Okay, so we're talking about how do we put out the fire just using 1 cup of water at a time by turning, instead of that, we turn on the hose, the fire hydrant. And this is the difference. This is the huge difference in why we want to activate it. Let our body's natural factory, natural mechanism to produce that antioxidants. Remember, I talked about that video clip that came out, that investigative report. We have tons and tons of studies right now and not just on Nrf2, but we also have a lot of studies on our protendum Nrf2. Okay, I believe the last count was 26. So we're talking about independent peer review studies. These are not funded by the company, and that's amazing. I've been in the vitamin supplement herbal world for 2 decades, maybe. I kind of grew up with it. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, okay? In order to get an independent peer review study, it takes a long, long time. It's approximately an average, maybe about 8 to 10 years for one to get published. And the fact that we have an herbal supplement, or at least categorized under an herbal supplement to get that type of credentialing, it is amazing. So next, let's look at how we can turn on another switch. How do we flip another switch, which is the mitochondrial health? Do you remember I was talking to you about that recertification class I had? Again, remember the dance across the water, okay? They mentioned one of the beautiful parts about our brain is to be able to create these mitochondria in our cells. The mitochondria is actually the natural powerhouse in our cells. It's the one that gives us energy. It is the one that actually allows me to talk so fast right now, okay? And allows me to be able to focus and concentrate and think of all the wonderful things that I want to share with you. Now, when that energy starts going down, the mitochondria is not working very, very well. So, what is the body's natural defense? The body is consistently fixing, removing the damaged mitochondria, reproducing new ones. But unfortunately, the body's production of mitochondria slows down over time. Okay, it is the natural progression of health. So, guess what? Wonderful, wonderful scientists found another pathway. So this is another enzymatic pathway in our biochemical highway in our body, which is the Nrf1 pathway. And the Nrf1 pathway actually kickstarts mitochondrial production, meaning it puts a lot more energy back into the cell, make the cell come alive. And guess what? More energy in our cells, we are able to have clearer mindset. We are able to think faster, have faster reaction when we drive, when someone decides to cut right in front of us, right? And give us that immediate attention. So LifeVantage actually comes up with another synergistic product, okay, the Nrf1 synergizer. What does it do? It increases the production of the Nrf1 gene by nearly 70%. I cannot tell you how incredible that is. When we deal with medicine, anything over 50% is like a wow. Particularly, we don't hear a lot about it being in the positive sense, okay? And this, on the plus side of it, these are all natural products. So I'm not talking about synthetic, okay? These are all natural products. So the next thing is sirtuin. Sirtuin actually is a protein pathway that has 7 protein It's a family of 7 protein groups, okay? And I like to think about it as like the maitre d' in a restaurant. The maitre d' in a restaurant knows everything that's going on and keep the restaurant running in tip-top shape. The busboy needs to go clean the table. Hurry up, where's the food that's coming out? The cook at the back needs to come and put food on the table. Make sure you get your order right. So that is what the sirtuin does. Directs a lot of traffic, make sure production of these mitochondria is doing well at functional optimal stage, and make sure that the Nrf2 pathway is nice and clean so that lots of these antioxidants is being produced to combat whatever free radicals come its way. So the body's natural solution to this decline is, and I missed that previous slide. Thank you, is consistently activating these sirtuins in producing additional sirtuins. Unfortunately, like everything else, okay, with the natural progression of aging, this starts slowing down. And guess what? Our inside of our body, everything starts slowing down. Thank you, Brenda. Next. So, yalla, we found another pathway. You know it. It's called the NAD pathway. Okay, and so LifeVantage Pretendum actually came up with an NAD, and that is also from many natural products. It helps increase sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. Remember I talked about percentages in medicine? Anything 50 over is a wow. This is a super double triple wow. Okay, 100% in 24 hours. That's amazing, amazing. I don't remember if our slides actually talk a little bit about caloric restriction. Okay, and some caloric restriction actually can enhance this sirtuin activity, but in order to get it at 100%, we have the solution. We have the solution. So let's talk about some more. Remember, we all have the choice. What are we going to do with the choice if we know we can change how to support our body, right? What happens in the cell when we flip all 3 switches at one time, right? We kickstart our Nrf2 pathway and Nrf1 pathway and increase the sirtuin activity. This slide probably means more to me, my nerd side at least, rather than to some others. Okay, so if you were to see, because the Nrf2 and many of these, they're talking about various different genes. Anytime when we add in the Nrf1 or the Nrf2 or the sirtuins, you have an increase of that in our body. But this is a beautiful part, so I want us to take note of this. When we put all 3 together, you see the blue lines. The percentage, it shot up incredibly, absolutely incredibly. Okay, I want to take a look at this particular gene right here. I guess you can't see my fingers. So it's the second bar from the left of your screen. Okay, that one. Yep. It actually increases over 838% if we were to take all 3 together. Do you remember I talked about the NAD, which increases sirtuin activity? That is what it does. It actually helps to boost that engine. It's like, I don't know, put a super charger on these cars that have only running on 4 cylinders. And now boom, is running on 8 and 16 cylinders and go boom. Okay, it's really, really incredible. So did I mention my left brain was dancing and jumping up and down? So trisynergizer is what I'm talking about. So are you all ready to flip your switch? Okay, to help support the positive mood and motivation, to support healthy longevity, to improve mental focus and concentration, to boost the mental and physical energy and support healthy inflammatory response and support healthy vascular system. Try saying that fast all at once. Needing that mitochondria action in the cell there. But take a look and pick one of those points there that you're seeing. Do you want that for yourself? Do you want that clarity of mind? Do you want to be able to have a calm mood, to be able to focus, so that you can have the clarity to make better decisions for yourself in the direction that you choose to go? Do you want to boost your physical energy? Do you want to have a better, healthier vascular system? I do. Particularly knowing my family's health history, I definitely do. I come from what the teenage vernacular says, that kind of like a sucky, crappy family health history. Okay, name it, all the top 3, top 4 diseases in the United States, my family history has it. So genetically, I do come with that. But I also know that I have the choice. I have the choice to flip that switch, to turn that switch around, to affect my genes. I cannot help it if it is in me, but I can help it by changing my lifestyle, by choosing to enhance my immune system, my body's defense mechanism, by activating my Nrf2 pathway, my Nrf1 pathway, and increasing sirtuin activity all the natural way, okay? That helps me so that I can live longer, jump higher, okay? So Pretendum Tri-Synergizer, beautiful part. You can come in individual bottles, you can come pre-packed, however you choose and whichever that resonates with you. So the next one, this is another, we don't have time to go through all of them, so I'm going to pick some of the ones that I think that will be absolutely helpful for each of us. Because the scientists have understood how to activate our body's Nrf2 pathway, they are able to put them in various different products. So remember, we have so many organ systems in our body. The skin is the largest organ in our body. So what did they do? We actually have it in our skincare. We have it in our hair care. Okay, it's really, really clean. And do you remember the little pup, the 7.5-pound 8 pup that I brought up just now? My cute little one, that 12-year-old? Pet tandem. Okay, so we have it on all these. So the one I wanted to actually touch on very, very lightly and quickly, Axio. Axio is, we term it as brain food. It crosses the blood-brain barrier with the Nrf2. When I'm doing things like dealing with cognitive decline, so we're talking about Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, how it actually decreases that oxidative stress in the brain to clean out the debris, to give it the bright light, okay? Probio, we all know that our gut is the second brain and how it can help us, okay? Really, really important. And then obviously the omegas. Incredibly clean omega. We can actually trace it from boat to pill, wherever it is. So there is no rancid, and it has vitamin D in it, omega-7. That's a very unusual one. So catch up with me if you want to know a little bit more, and I will pass the time over to Miss Brenda.
Wow, that was so powerful. I've heard, we've been with LifeVantage for 10 years now, and this is my first time being able to hear you share, Dr. Pam, and I'm all excited. I literally was like, yes, yes, yes. So thank you so much. Again, these products have been life-changing for so many people. And so at LifeVantage, we say, we hear so many stories, and stories are definitely better when you share them. And this is a business of sharing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back to when tell you a little bit about LifeVantage, so you get a sense of the type of company that we are. LifeVantage is 11 years old. We are headquartered in Utah. We are publicly traded. I love the fact that we're publicly traded and that we're on the NASDAQ. That brings so much validation. And if you are interested, take a look at what are the types of companies that are investing their dollars and hold stock in LifeVantage. You'll be surprised at the caliber of the companies that are shareholders. We are a debt-free company, and we have amazing people that are on our board of directors that are steering our company. So that ABC Primetime that you saw in the presentation, that's literally what put LifeVantage on the map. Our Protandim was originally sold in the stores. Think Rite Aid, think Vitamin Shop, think GNC, but the product wasn't selling because most people knew about traditional antioxidants, as Dr. Pam shared earlier, but this wasn't that. And it was a little bit more expensive. So the company was almost in danger of being delisted, but then the company hired a consultant, and the consultant saw the ABC primetime, and he said, you guys have a medical breakthrough. You have a product that needs to be explained. Store shelves don't talk. It's a product that needs to be explained. So in 2009, he recommended that we take the product off the shelves and that we put it into the network marketing model, a model where people share stories. And that was absolutely the right decision for this company, because we went from being a $11 million company to now being over a $200 million company. So the network marketing sharing model is absolutely working for us. So let's talk a little about trends. Never in history, you guys, have people ever been more concerned about their health. We're living it right now. There's been a 60% increase in wellness sales in the last 8 years. And I love the fact that at LifeVantage, we're perfectly positioned to capitalize, and we're in that $600 billion plus dollar industry. The Protandim family alone is part of that $300 billion anti-aging industry. We're in that $121 billion skincare industry. We have category creating products in key areas of that $600 billion wellness sector. And yet no one knows about us, and no one really understands yet how our products are so amazingly different than what else is on the market. Think about this. I love the fact that cosmetics percentage of sales has flipped from being predominant over wellness to now the fact that wellness sales have increased over cosmetics. And again, everyone's thinking about how can we boost our wellness? How can we boost our immune systems? That's super important. So I was in corporate America, okay? I was a VP of human resources. I never, ever even imagined being a professional network marketer. But for my husband and I, this business has been life-changing. And you guys, one of the things I love about network marketing, and why I absolutely believe that everyone should be involved in a network marketing company, I say LifeVantage, but I believe that everybody should have additional streams of income. And I say that because of this. In 2008 and 2009, when the economy crashed, I was flying around the world, laying off 60% of my population, laying off, and absolutely devastating families and devastating individuals who only had one income stream. So when I had to deliver the message that they were laid off, that was devastating. So I say, what I've learned is whatever you do right now to pay your bills, or just because you love doing it, do it because you love it, but build something on the side at your own pace that no one can ever take away from you. And that's what my husband and I have been doing with LifeVantage, because when I mentioned earlier, I was so sick, I literally had to take a medical retirement from my high six-figure corporate job, you guys, because I couldn't do it anymore because I was so sick. And so we have been able to, my husband and I, we've been able to replace 2 pensions by working this business at our own pace, at our own time. So we think of it as the perfect business model. Why? Because you can work from home or anywhere, right? People are wanting options for working from home right now. When you buy into LifeVantage, you get a virtual office. There's a very low entry cost to doing this business, and you're not carrying inventory. Low cost of entry, social sharing. Individuals are able to use any number of social media outlets to promote their products and to build friendships, and then to offer people a solution. Everyone receives a personal online store. So again, that speaks to the fact that we're not, we don't have a garage full of product. There's an opportunity to earn daily bonuses. For individuals that have a need for that, there's an opportunity to earn daily bonus. And there's travel for those of us that love to travel. So let's take a look at what's the income opportunity. Now, I will say this, network marketing is not not a get rich quick scheme. It takes time. It takes perseverance. It's like an entrepreneurial roller coaster. There will be ups and downs through the journey. But here's what I know to be true is that if you don't give up and if you plug into our system, then here's what's possible. This is our average annual earnings disclosure statement. Again, we're a publicly traded company, so these numbers have been vetted. I want to highlight a couple ranks. So right here, so we have 10 ranks in our company. Right here is the average monthly commissions paid at rank. We go all the way from Pro 1 to Executive Master Pro 10. At Pro 3 here, the average monthly income is $626 a month. I want you to think about what could you do, what could happen for your family if you were able to build a business at your own pace, at your own time, and could bring in an extra $626 a month. For so many people that are struggling right now, that could make a difference. Then we go to Premier Pro 5. We go to Premier Pro 5. That average monthly income is $3,100 a month. That's people start to have new options with that amount. And then our Elite Pro 7 is $13,400 a month. My husband and I right now, we're Premier Pro 6s in the business. And as I mentioned, we were able to collapse time because my husband is a retired police officer, 21 years, city of San Antonio. And doing this business part-time, we've been able to replace 2 pensions. It's powerful. So, you know, for some, and then people have the ability to make more, much more. But here's the thing. Many folks have never been in this stratosphere before, right? So I say, what's the number for you? What's the number for your family that would make a difference, that would make it worth your time to do this with us, okay? And choose that number. And what we do then is we work with you to, and partner with you to make that happen. So how do you get started? For those of you guys, if you're sitting here and you've been listening to the presentation and all you're interested in is the products, that's fantastic. Over 80% of LifeVantage are simply individuals that absolutely love the products and they just won't stop taking them. But if you're thinking about the fact that the products resonate with you and you're looking for a way to make some extra money, then these are your enrollment options. We have 4 ways to get started. There's a $50 enrollment kit, there's no product with that. And then you've got 3 other options that do come with product to get started. The silver pack is $350, the gold pack is $650, and the platinum pack is $1250. We say get in where you fit in. But I always do want to make sure that people understand that with the $50 option, there is no product and you're not commission eligible right away. So if possible, definitely look at one of these. And if you want to experience all the products and the amazing savings that's possible, my husband and I, we all started with the platinum pack just because of the 35% savings. And we wanted to be able to have our own story for all of the different products so that as we're talking to people and they ask us about either the hair care or the physique weight management system or any of the other products, we're able to share our experience. So at this point, if folks are saying, okay, well, I'm interested in the products or I want to know more, I'm curious about the business, but I've never done network marketing. Can I do this? Well, here's what I know. And here's what I love about this company. I love the fact that you have there's a global support structure. All of us that are on here this evening, many of us are not on the same team, but we all come together to help each other. There's an easy to follow ITT system. So there's a network marketing is all about duplication. It's not about reinventing the wheel. You don't have to come up with things on your own. It's a plug and play system. The biggest piece with that is being consistent and not giving up. There are plenty of opportunities for you to plug into team meetings, training on either product education, skill set, mindset, leadership training. And we have a number of trainings that are throughout the week so that you can plug in the times that it makes sense with your schedule. There are regular corporate events and training, and there's a ton of incentives and perks. And also there's an opportunity for you to plug into private communities, whether that is a private customer pages where you can learn more about products and you can plug in your prospects to those customer pages, or there are team pages where you go there for continuing education and fellowship and community as well. Oops, let's see. And then, you know, a number of other things have happened with LifeVantage that just make it an awesome place to be right now. 3 years running, LifeVantage has been voted one of the best places to work. You know, we've launched in our European footprint. You know, we actually named Aaron Brockovich to our board in 2019. The Stevie Awards. The Stevie Awards, several of our products have won Stevie Awards. The Stevie Awards are like the Oscars for business, and we've won gold, silver, and bronze in that worldwide business recognition, business and product recognition. Being on the Russell 3000 is really a big deal, you guys. Again, so when people question network marketing, I point to the fact again that we're on the NASDAQ, that we're publicly traded, and that we're on the Russell 3000. We're open for business in New Zealand. We had a record, we posted record revenue in 2020. And then in January of last year, LifeVantage had the honor of ringing the closing bell on the NASDAQ. Again, great visibility, and we were chosen because of our business growth. And then finally, you guys, we are the front jersey sponsors for the Real Salt Lake. These are, you know, the types of markets that we're open in. And here's what I love about this business is that I live here in San Diego, but I have business partners in other parts of the world and other parts of the country. So you can build a global business from your living room, and you can be in any number of markets. So as long as you know people who know people in other countries, you can actually build a global business. And then the other thing I love about LifeVantage is the fact that we are always giving back to the local communities that we are operating in, and that we have a heart for giving back. Each time we have an incentive trip, we do give a service project at those locations. So where do we go from here? If you're still with us at this point, you may be in one of these three categories. You may just need some more information. Maybe you were introduced to some concepts tonight that you're curious about. Please get back to the person that invited you on tonight and get your questions answered. We're here to answer questions. So you may need more information about either the business or the products. You may be interested in becoming a customer. Again, let the person that invited you here tonight know what you'd like to get started on, or you might be ready to join the team. So again, let the person that invited you here tonight know where you stand. And again, I just want to say thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure for Pam and I. I'll stop sharing here.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure for Pam and I to be able to spend this time with you this evening, and we wish you all a very good night.
Stay safe, everyone. It has been a pleasure.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.